Academic record brouhaha, what President Tinubu must do. What must he do? And what is this person trying to write? Okay. What must he do? The only thing Nigerians want him to do now is just to apologize to Nigerians and resign honorably, because what he has committed is fraudulent and there's no two ways to interpret it. Right from the secondary school, there's no primary school in the first place. So I don't know how he got to secondary school, but the secondary school is proven to be fake. The college is proven to be fake. The university is also now forged. Even though the school is trying to say one Mr. Tinubu passed through the school, that's fine. But what did he graduate with? And what is the certificate? It's easy to stay in the school for 2, 3, 4 years and then come out and say you have graduated, you passed through the school. The school has a record that you were in the school. But what did you graduate with? That is the question. Where is your certificate? That is the question. So it's not enough to say he attended or you went through the school, but you must show forth what you earned at the end of the academic program. That is it. But let's see what this person is trying to write here, even though he did not even include his identity. Okay. My undergraduate project supervisor was a severe professor many students would rather avoid. He was prone to drama and drunk on power as the head of the department. And if there was a chance to avoid him, most students would rather do that. Somehow I ended up as one of half a dozen students who final year projects he would supervise. All of us knew we were in for it. So at our first meeting, we presented our project topics. The man took every single one of them, turned it inside out, and flipped it on its head so that whatever you submit would be nothing but original. Because some students actually copy others' projects and present them as theirs. My no-nonsense professor was too smart to allow that. On the day I submitted my final project to him and set off, I was relieved that I was out of his grasp. He sent another student running after me to announce that the professor wanted me back in his office. So heart thumping and pumping, I returned and held my head and my breath. He took his time, allowing me to wallow in my agony. Young man, wherever you copied your project from, he began. But I did not copy it, sir. I interjected. He said, shut up and listen to me. He said again. I said, wherever you copied it from, I just want you to know that you copied it very well. It was the best compliment he had ever given me since I knew him. So I remember this story while reflecting on the recent brouhaha over President Bola Tinubu's academic record. It would seem to borrow the terminology of my old professor that wherever it was copied from, it wasn't copied very well. President Tinubu's choice to run for president has meant that he horns of the Zuckervilles. The horns of the Zuckervilles, with a bow to Conan Doyle, have come after him, persistently niggling at his heels every chance they get, and rightly so too. He aspired to be president of a country, and he should come with distinguishable and true records. That is it. So at this time, if there's any doubt that President Tinubu attended the Chicago State University and graduated from the institution, those doubts should be at rest. CSU has categorically confirmed that he was indeed a student there between 1977 and 1979. They have issued receipts, as we say in Niger street lingo, to back these claims, but that doesn't seem to be where the problem is. The question of forgery and identity theft lingers over the president. Forgery is a breach of the criminal code and is grounds for the forfeiture of his office as stipulated by the extant law. Considering how hard the president has fought to be in that office, it is unimaginable for him to just throw up his hands and scream, "Enough with this pesky vermin," but before packing back to Bodilon. So it seems there are some options before the president. One is to either sit tight or hope to ride it out and hope these ferocious winds will blow over, which they won't. I will get to the other option later. Anyone who knows anything about the forces opposed to the president would know that is unlikely to happen. Atiku Abubakar, after losing the presidential election petition, filed a suit in the U.S. demanding that president's academic record be made available to his legal team. That doesn't seem like the actions of a man who would easily give up his fight. The president, on his part, tried to have restrictions placed on the records that Atiku's legal team could be given access to. He lost that fight, and the records are now out in the public. Did they answer the questions that have been asked persistently about the president's academic history? Some of them, yes, but they have raised others. Now, one of the first was that one of the academic records of the president indicated his gender as female. That might be a clerical error, and perhaps the same would be said about the misspelling of his name on the yearbook, for instance. Those who lived through the old typist era know how easily someone could make those mistakes. The CSU admission letter clearly indicated it was issued to Mr., not Miss or Mrs. Tinubu. But there are more serious concerns here. That being the record from Southwest College, from where President Tinubu transferred to CSU. His applications to Southwest College indicated that he graduated from Government College Lagos in 1970. The school wasn't established until 1974. The discrepancies also included the year of his birth. His CSU record shows the year of birth of 1954, 2 years after the year of birth he officially proclaimed. The implication would be that he was only 14 years old when he graduated from high school. The math doesn't add up. What is the probability of one person suffering so many clerical errors in his record? Why are the dates all over the place? Why was there a certificate from a school that hadn't been established at the time? In essence, to return to the lingo of my old professor, wherever these documents were copied from, if that is what happened, they weren't copied well. No doubt President Tinubu will remain a divisive figure in Nigeria. That is not entirely his fault, because in Nigeria, with our many fractured lives and outlooks, it doesn't take much to be divisive. But with a record that is half in the shadow like his, combined with a career in politics and ferocious political opponents, it is not rocket science that sparks will fly. The actions of both the president and his opponents have combined to shame Nigeria. That a foreign court had to sit in judgment over issues regarding our country's election is embarrassing enough, just as it is embarrassing that this foreign judge had to order that the academic record of our president be made available. This would not have been necessary if the president hadn't asked CSU to block access to his records. He has every right to, but I don't think the circumstances warranted this stand. Of course, by FEPA, by FEPA laws, which every U.S. academic has to sign every single year, the academic record of students are not to be disclosed to the public or even to students' relatives, including their parents, who pay for their education. But in a situation where the president has nothing to hide, he should have made relevant records available to the appropriate authorities, INEC, to save the country from all this drama and embarrassment. So what this guy is saying now? So back to the options before the president. He could either come out and irrefutably prove that there was no forgery on his part, or explain satisfactorily why these discrepancies exist in his record. We might need to go through a court process for this. The other option is to walk the path of Salisu Buhari and Kemi Adeosun, who were forced to resign from office when it was established that they forged certificates to serve in government. Whatever choice is made, the right must be done. The right must be done in a clear and transparent way, and the interest of the country must be placed front and center ahead of every individual's needs and desires. Wherever we are copying this idea of a country from, we must copy it well. Okay, so what is this guy saying now? He has just succeeded in writing a lot of articles here. So there are two options. There's no way Tinubu can't explain himself out of this. There are too many discrepancies. First of all, there's no primary school record. So how did he get into secondary school? That's the question. How did he get into secondary school? And then from that secondary school, issues are there till he finished university. Issues are there till he submitted his application form in 1999 as to be Lagos governor. Okay, he produced a primary and secondary school certificate from schools that were busted to have never existed in Nigeria. Now he produced another one now, Government College Lagos, that never existed when he said he graduated. So the record from the college certificate that he used to get admission in CSU happened to belong to a female. The social security number there belongs to a female. So there's identity theft right from secondary school up to when he went to university. Now they said he went through the university and graduated. What did he graduate with? That's the question. Now some people are saying he's confirmed that he went to the school. It's not by going to the school. What did he graduate with? Whatever he graduated, was it what he submitted to INEC? Now what he submitted to INEC, are there fallacies in them? And what does Nigerian law and Electoral Act says about forging a document into the election system? So it is very clear that the man has to go. And if he resigns, he will also need to be prosecuted because a forgery is a criminal case. That is it. And somebody is coming here to say Tinubu till 2031, no shaking. So we are giving him 8 years from now because Nigeria is now an animal farm. Quite unfortunate. At least no shaking, not before Tinubu's hands and legs. They must shake. Can you imagine? That is what you are saying. He must shake, that he must move. Typical Agberos, this Agbola talking. He will overcome this mountain again, as usual. Can you imagine? So the narrative we are getting here, people are still supporting the evil. Okay? But when it happened to Mesoma in Anambra State, everybody were after her. Everybody was after her, okay? And now, this has happened to previous people, especially in Bayelsa State and some governorship candidates, and they were sacked by the same court. So why can't the court sack Tinubu? Quite unfortunate that we're in this mess. So thank you for listening. This goes to a parable that says that if the old man commits offense, there will be no cane in the bush to flog him. But if a small child commits the same offense, there will be cane everywhere to flog him, and everybody will want to flog him. It's not a very good position. So thank you for listening. Let's have a comment.